aqui no Vampyr de novo, parte 2. E vamos que vamos. Gostei bastante do jogo. Vamos continuar no demônio doutor. Está um fio de racha aqui. Opa.
Yes, Nurse Crane? How can I help you?
O que posso ajudar?
I'm so sorry. I know Dr. Swansea wanted you to rest.
A crisis, you say?
Uma crise.
Our supply of antiseptics is nearly depleted. I was hoping there was another box up here, but...
Que mais? Então,
What type of hospital are you running? No antiseptics?
You have been away too long, Doctor. With the war and now this epidemic, supplies have been running scarce for months now.
I may have a solution. In France, during the war, drugs shortage was a daily problem, and we had to use our wits to overcome the shortages.
However do you mean?
If combined correctly, certain household chemical products can be used in a pinch instead. Now, where's the hospital storeroom?
The storeroom? Fat chance. This is the Pembroke, and space is luxury we don't have. Everything used to be stored in the old morgue.
Perhaps I should look there first. Where is this morgue?
It's the large building behind the hospital. You'll need to go in the back door because it's been sealed off for sanitary reasons. Take this key.
The abandoned morgue behind the hospital. A small door at the end of a narrow street. On my way then. Thank you, Nurse.
Obrigado, enfermeira. Deixa eu perguntar mais.
Yes?
Como está a
Exactly
situação?
how bad is the...
It really depends. Dr.
Why then do you always work the nights? Don't you ever sleep?
At the Pembroke, we're always hands on deck.
Your dedication to the Pembroke does you credit, Nurse Crane, but when do you sleep?
We staff get our sleep when we can, Doctor. Nursing is a vocation, not the labor of a journeyman.
Lack of sleep and the medical profession always ends in disaster. I've witnessed many a colleague...
London's trenches start here at Pembroke.
Please,
It's the large boarded up...
That's all.
Então eu vou lá, minha véia.
It's locked, all right. I cannot enter.
O que eu preciso... Opa. Pelo que eu entendi, se eu matar os cabeças, o jogo vai pra trás. Isso aqui é o...
Good evening, Doctor. I believe we're going...
Dr. Reed. I am Thoreau Strickland. Doctor...
Conte-me sobre
Please, could you tell me...
I'm a great admirer of your work concerning blood...
What made you...
I'm not ashamed to admit you and your work have inspired me. I am honored to have the opportunity to work by your side.
It's always a pleasure to share scientific...
This epidemic may be the century's most
I based my technique on...
I'd rather not talk about it. For now, it's...
As long as you're cautious and methodical.
You're not the first one to warn me. But I...
What can you tell...
Well, it has always been an honor to work with Dr. Swansea.
You seem quite optimistic.
I'm convinced that this epidemic is a test of endurance and dedication for us men of science.
Questions remain about our...
True. Last summer, during the first wave of the epidemic, I used to joke with Milton about...
Do you need help with anything?
Well, yes, maybe. I'm waiting for a batch of products I ordered for my personal research, yet my supplier seems to have vanished.
Do you want me to play the errand boy for you?
Oh no, Dr. Reed. But if you went personally to his shop, What with your reputation and all, he wouldn't dare to refuse the products I need.
I see. Well, give me the address.
Perguntas pessoas.
Tell me more about your willingness to experiment with new medical techniques.
Harvey Fiddick is a patient suffering from a severe injury that could cripple him if not treated correctly. I'm convinced your blood transfusion technique could help him.
What is it you really want? To save him, or to prove your point?
Fair question. I want nothing but...
Tell me, Mr.
Our first diagnosis...
But why would he hide such crucial...
Because he is a proud father.
Tell me, Mr.
Our first diagnosis was compromised because Mr. Fiddick lied to us about the real origin of his injury. He first...
But why?
Because...
This personal involvement.
I agree.
Do you think keeping his distance...
All I know is that I'm...
Buguei.
Goodbye.
Quem que é esse?
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed.
Reed? Yes, I've been informed about you.
Does my arrival...
Let us just say that I don't particularly share Dr.
Perguntas pessoais.
I don't know what you...
I don't...
And what...
I say...
Be careful.
I only...
Knowledge.
It is...
It seems...
I refuse...
We cannot... If you have a problem with me, Dr.
Dr. Swansea has imposed your presence on...
I know we've never met before.
Oh, but I have heard about you, Dr. Reed.
There is no need for such animosity.
That is one point we could agree on.
Tell me, Waverley.
Strickland is playing with his patient's life.
Are you thinking about something in...
Harvey Fiddick needs delicate surgery.
What? I really hope...
I'm not the kind of man who...
And...
Rival...
I really...
I'm not... Let's...
Can I... Thank you.
O cara descobre um negócio, depois descobre outro.
Good evening.
And good evening.
What do you think of Dr. Ackroyd?
It's a shame.
With the
I believe that it's...
So you believe it's...
Dr. Ack...
Goodbye.
Vamos ver agora esse daqui.
Good evening, sir.
I don't know if a third opinion is...
I see.
I'm Harvey.
Tell me about it.
I'm just a regular guy.
I was more...
I'm a carpenter.
Tell me...
Strict what do I... Well, I...
In other... Tell me about your injury, Harvey. Why do you feel so guilty about it?
My wife died because of me. And now I may lose everything because I've been careless enough to hurt myself. What an arsehole.
How could your job be responsible for your wife's death?
I was working a double. She went out to bring me a hot meal and got caught in a German bomb raid.
You can't hold yourself responsible for your injury, Mr. Fiddick. Unless you tried to hurt yourself.
Of course I didn't hurt myself. But I can't work.
Tell me more about the...
1915.
What happened?
The German...
How are your children after losing...
They were smaller then.
I'm sorry for your loss.
I would like to say that she didn't suffer.
Goodbye for...
Always knew the words to calm the children, Ellen.
I'm all right. Don't waste your time.
Good evening, madam.
It's my son who needs...
I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed.
I'm Beatrice Goswick, mother of more...
What can...
Not...
May I ask if...
I'm a teacher by...
Are you really that rich?
Yes, thanks to my husband.
What do you think of your reception here? Any...
I have had the uttermost reservations about this hospital.
Is there something in particular that's bothering you?
Some of the staff were not especially welcoming. I suspect they're not accustomed to dealing with patients of such social...
Tell me more about your arrival at the Pem...
The ambulance driver was quite rude, for a start. And that nurse, Miss Hawkins, seems to have quite a dubious attitude.
What do you mean?
She managed to secure a bed for my son despite the epidemic. It was a relief, but it wasn't cheap.
She charged you for a bed?
Yes, and I paid without question, considering the urgency of the situation.
I share your concern, Mrs. Goswick. Be sure that I'll talk to the people involved.
I don't expect compensation, Dr. Reed. But I'm aware such behavior would not be tolerated in other hospitals.
Perguntas pessoais, nenhuma.
Goodbye, Miss.
Vamos ver o nerdzinho.
Good evening. I'm Dr. Reed.
No,
Really?
I don't want to talk.
I suppose that this pain is the reason you're here.
Yes,
Could you at least tell me your name?
Mortimer.
Muita dor.
How painful.
So painful, I'd rather not.
I'll let you... Good evening.
I'm okay.
How...
So,
I'm sure you realize a doctor and...
not really.
I see. Then maybe it...
Yes, maybe. But I don't.
Why did your mother have you hospitalized?
My mother just wants the best for me.
Is your mother bothering you? As your doctor, I can ask her to leave you alone if you would prefer.
That's tempting, Doctor. But you have no idea what my mother is capable of. She would tie herself to my bed if you asked her to leave.
Pembroke Hospital may look unorthodox.
It's not me you have to convince, Dr. Reed.
Tell me.
I don't...
Você tá quase
I
morrendo.
have to...
Don't waste your time with me.
Good evening.
Ver se eu consigo alguma coisa.
Goodbye.
Eu acho que foi tudo já.
Thelma Howcroft said she was being watched by vampire hunters. Where are they hiding? I should investigate. It's locked, all right. It's locked.
Uma carta. Essa carta não é não pra mim. Comigo tem um bagulho pra cá, peraí.
I cannot enter. It's locked. Scowl voices in the garden. I should investigate. If they were to find somebody.
Sai aqui. Ah, bem quando eu recolei eu. trabalhar. Uma leve bugada. Acho que tá cheio de bicho aqui. Não. Ah, saudade.
It's locked, all right.
Por enquanto não tem nada. Vou pegar esse safado aqui.
Behavior is similar to the infected William Bishop. Must be the same strain.
Trata-se de
This sickness moves faster than influenza.
Tá.
It's locked. This key will surely grant me access to the basement.
Morreu.
Balls of Mars, fortifiers. As popular as they are ineffective.
Pra subir mais.
But they do contain iron tartrate, and that might prove itself useful.
A porta foi destrancada.
These scowls feed from corpses and the husks of animals.
Não busca o bastante.
They're not after me.
Como é que troca de arma? É C. mais o que tem por aqui. Vai ter um corpo aqui, ó.
Mr. Connor's injuries don't match the report.
Tá, canto dos
Traces of a pinkish foam at the corner of the lips.
lados.
Some sort of drug overdose, perhaps? The chest was originally opened, but multiple abrasions and scarring. A puncture over the left lung, possibly a chest. Signs of internal. Tippett has made an egregious error. It's time we... Tippett. It's locked.
Não gostei. Não gostei. Scowls can be so ferocious. I'm not sure I can defeat them without becoming stronger. To drink blood is so tempting. Sodium hypochlorite. Dangerous to administer, but efficient in the proper dosage. precisa de sangue. Acho que deu. Aqui jogamos, meus amigos. É de vocês, eu também. Tratamento para fadiga. Vamos conversar com essa
Good
mulher.
evening, nurse.
Good evening, Doctor. I don't think we've been...
And I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed.
Well, it's a euphemism that you're...
How would you...
It's serious.
Nurse Hawk,
I wish I could believe you.
you must... How long have you been a nurse?
Or long enough.
You're... How is...
Well, not...
Why...
I don't...
Why is Milton...
Milton's not the kind of man who's... Not well. What?
Perguntas pessoais.
Pepper, are you sure you want to leave this hospital?
To become a nurse was a little girl's dream.
No fim das
But in the end, I don't feel that useful. I want more.
Orgulho.
You should be proud of what you've achieved.
Maybe you're right. But at the moment,
Pepper,
to become...
you should...
Maybe.
Goodbye.
Disgust on
Deixa eu ver
every
esse
street
caminho.
corner.
Good evening. Why do you feel responsible for the
I wasn't disfigured by any German shells. It happened during my leave.
Licença.
It was an accident.
Why
Come on. Just one.
Beauty.
Says Mr.
Why?
Come.
Beauty.
Says.
Tell me.
I went with.
Did you start the fire?
No.
Goodbye.
You're disgust.
Deixa eu ver.
On every street corner.
I wish I could be sick again.
Daily.
It's locked, all right.
Deixa eu
Hello?
ver.
Goodbye, Mr. Ham.
Vamos ver o tipo deles aqui.
Good up to. Kokoran, I want you to tell me about Mr. Connor. How did he die? What happened?
He was my patient. He died because of my mistake. That's...
Quem
Who
era?
was this patient?
I don't know. Some sick...
What was the name?
It was a twofold error. My
Why not stop?
Are you mad? I killed him.
Goodbye.
Era velho.
Goody.
Goodbye. Good evening.
Good evening, Doctor.
I have some...
What?
I retrieved your wallet.
Well, yeah, Pippa Hawkins is my girl.
Not at all, Milton.
Good. Please, take this money anyway. To remind you to...
What's going on between...
Pippa's tired. Maybe you're right. Come on, Dr. Reed.
Do you know that Nurse Hawkins is...
That's not a surprise.
Does it not?
Sometimes...
Why do you have such a mediocre reputation among your colleagues, Milton?
Fuck them. Nobody knows...
I know.
I've seen...
I'm sorry.
Yeah, exactly.
Goodbye.
Tem velho.
Good evening.
Good evening.
So.
Tell me what Dr. Tippett did.
If I had not covered up his error,
You can't allow your emotion...
Look around.
Perhaps you did it with the best in...
You mean you've never made a mistake?
I've decided that I won't reveal.
I'm so glad you share my point of view.
I hope you're right. This is a huge risk.
Dr. Tippett must regain his confidence. Please.
Como assim a
Goodbye.
pessoa fracassou? entendi. Carregando, meu Deus do céu.
Good evening, Dr. Tibbets.
Dr. Reed, any good news to share?
Goodbye, Dr. Tibbets.
Eu não entendi porque que começou a carregar. Ai, pipa aqui.
Good evening.
Good evening.
What steps are you...
I don't know yet. My...
And what...
For Milton. On the cop... Yes.
I have no intention of...
The rules say I won't be allowed to work as a nurse anymore.
Is he worth?
Hey.
Goodbye. Good evening.
I need blood, Doctor. Warm, rich, vibrant.
Tell me, Thelma.
I'm not.
Do you...
Of course not. How could I inflict my...
Would you...
No. No.
I'll leave.
I'm quite...
Muitas pessoas.
Thank you.
Tanta coisa que eu já não sei nem mais o que fazer.
Yes?
That... Good evening. Good. Good evening. And good evening. Good.
Certo, agora eu com os aposentos lá para fabricar o meu tratamento.
I cannot enter.
Então, deixa eu dar uma olhada aqui. Fechado.
Finally, you've returned, Doctor.
Yes, nurse.
You've worked your first miracle, Doctor.
Duty calls. When the storm has passed.
Many thanks, Doctor.
Good evening, Mr. Goswick. How are you?
I'm okay.
Do you need any help?
I'm afraid I may, sir.
You are not a burden, sir.
And you have my...
How painful.
So painful overall.
I have to...
Fala
Good.
também.
Goodbye.
Doctor.
Sente se não consegue olhar de banho.
Here again.
Vai estar em cima.
It's locked, all right.
Please, Jonathan, come in. Fascinating, is it not? In the last decade, so many mysteries have been brought to light with our microscopes. The human body, biology's penultimate frontier. The more we explore its boundaries, the less we're able to trace a clear line between life and death. You, my friend, have a foot in both countries. The view must be vertiginous.
It's at least as vertiginous as chatting about vampires with you, I would say.
This must be all so new to you. This area of town, the hospital, a brand new life. How stimulating it must be.
I wish I could share your enthusiasm, Dr. Swansea, but my condition defies scientific categorization. Undead? Unalive? Immortality defies logic.
I cannot express my thrill at this serendipitous turn of events. The world's most eminent specialist in blood transfusions, a vampire. One might say a gift from heaven.
There is an absurd poetry to my situation.
Forgive me. I've been an admirer of your work.
I'm not some doe-eyed student, Edgar. I understand we both have something to gain from this relationship.
Very well. I have a task for you, Jonathan. Something that will require all your newfound skills.
Please, go on.
The Pembroke only survives through the generosity of our benefactors. Unfortunately, our main donor has found herself in a bit of a bind. Now, if you could help her out...
A spokesman or politician is what you need. That's not my calling. And until I come to understand what has happened to me, I require discretion.
Discretion is in order, Jonathan. Lady Ashbury has recently received rather indelicate correspondence that, if revealed, would jeopardize her position.
And you would like me to eradicate this threat?
By the stole, of course not. I would just like you to pay her a visit. Her ladyship is certainly near the tents outside, tending the sick.
Accepted. I'll see what kind of trouble.
Do you need some? Then ask.
You meant...
Certain.
That...
I feel it...
Yet you don't...
The Brotherhood has studied your kind for centuries. Well... What?
The matter...
Just... A skull is easier to eliminate, Jonathan.
Where do...
The name means slave.
Since you seem...
As met...
Must I take a life to live?
You are a vampire. You feed. And blood is the sole sustenance that can sustain your immortal frame. And only a living creature contains the nourishment you require.
The sun.
You will find there is very little that can kill a...
We'll see.
Ah, tá, essa daqui.
The flu took my dear wife, Emily. I take comfort knowing we'll soon be together again.
Mr. Rainfield, that's no way to talk. You're in good hands here, and we'll be up again soon enough.
Vai tá morrendo.
Now do me a kindness and get some sleep. I'll be back round later.
Your words are kind, the blessings of an angel. You're the sweet, sweet lady of mercy.
Good evening, Dr. Reed. It's a pleasure. You seem surprised.
You're a vamp. The lady who saved me that...
Indeed. Allow me...
Apologies. You've taken me by surprise. I'm very happy to see you.
The pleasure is mine, Doctor.
I hope you're more disposed to answer my...
You must have countless questions.
Have any of the patients...
These poor souls.
The world would be a better place if it were cared for.
You make me blush.
Pardon?
As a newborn, your hunger for answers...
I'm a scientist. My trade...
I will gladly answer every question you have.
Dr. Swansea has commissioned me to be...
These past insufferable weeks.
What are your
As
expectations?
the newly appointed surgeon of this hospital, you are in an excellent position to ask innocent questions and deftly learn the identity of...
Who would be so foolish as...
Even if it were the case, and I highly doubt...
If we're dealing with...
As immortal tradition doth dictate...
Please continue.
My embarrassment in this matter is eclipsed only by my...
I'll take care of it. Do you know where
If that was the case, I'd settle the matter.
I'll meet that woman now.
My life, as others know, is...
What is...
There's no need for alarm, madam. I'm Dr...
Preposterous. Dr. Reed, you say?
Please, calm down, madam. I assure you...
How brave.
Harriet Jones. Indeed.
Oh, better than any patient, nurse, or doctor.
I heard there have been some
Blackmail? Wait.
You seem to know more about the goings-on.
That's it. Blame the old and inf...
If I didn't know better, Miss Jones...
God's honest truth, Doctor.
I assure you, madam, this is not...
Debauchery, then? Nurses Crane, Hawkins, Brannigans, whores, all of them. They can't keep their legs shut.
Really? Well, if you have irrefutable...
This is your business, Doctor, not mine.
Thank you for your time, Miss Jones. The patients and staff might know something. I'll start my investigation with them. Good evening.
Good evening.
What can you tell me about the strange man visiting one of the...
Let me guess. You spoke...
She could have been telling the truth of...
That old witch will end up in hell soon enough.
No matter how you feel about her, Miss...
Who says I don't care for her? Hate is what... Let me...
Goodbye.
Tá, essa aí não ajudou muito não. Não entendi, senhor.
I cannot enter.
Ah, te achei, ô viado.
It's locked. Good evening. Always a pleasure to meet a colleague. A colleague? Not anymore, sir. What do you mean? You know, sir. It is just... What? Half? And... Do you work here? Yes, very easy work, sir. All I... Why it was... Why do you have... Because these... Have we met? I don't think so. When we first talked, you said you were glad to meet... Funny story, sir. Your sister... Have you heard of someone... Pardon me, sir. Yes, sir. What kind? With the quarantine, it's not all... Who comes? I'm there. Since you're not afraid of... No. Do you think you... I don't think... Do you... Quite yet. So, no, you're a one. No, doctor. Please, of course. Tomorrow, more bodies will... It's locked. Good evening.
Good evening.
Do you know if any of the hospital staff...
The people who work here...
Have you seen...
I've never heard of such a...
Goodbye. Good evening.
Good evening.
Have you heard of...
There are a lot of secrets round here.
What kind?
I'm not in the gossip business, Dr. Reed.
Have you...
There are a lot of secrets round here.
What kind of secrets?
I'm not in the gossip business, Dr. Reed. If you want to know more, you better talk to Harriet Jones. She's the old...
Admit it. Nurse Hawkins is more than your lover. She's also your partner in crime.
Of course she is. How else could I tell which bed is free? I need to know...
Have you no shame?
Don't you see the sea is crumb?
Tell me why you're
If a patient wants a bed, he'll have to pay...
Where did you get the idea?
Funny you should ask. The first time it was from...
Does it
something? If don't.
Goodbye.
Encontre Dorothy.
Easy does it, boys.
Safer places to be than here. Oi, you! Stop there! Mine!
Oh, eu desviei. Caramba. Caramba, Rex. É porque tá difícil. Mas é difícil mesmo, mano. Cê é louco, cara.
You're sure you don't come back with me?
Nah, I have to see someone at the hospital.
Be careful. You look so bad they may keep you as a patient.
Fuck 'em. I don't like hospitals or doctors.
Well then, when you go back to Whitechapel, you may find this useful.
What is it?
A pass for a free medical exam by the best nurse available. Just read it.
Oh, boneco feio.
I don't read well, but thank you, I guess.
Para curar a cidadão doente por tratamento correto, cidadão saudável. Ajuda a melhorar o estado de saúde do distrito que habita.
He's locked the door behind him. I need to find another way to follow him. This man has been savagely attacked and dragged to the floor.
Caralho, cara. Tô lutando errado, mano. Tô lutando errado, meu. fluir pra cá. Cuidado, cidadão, Evelyn pode não sobreviver mais uma noite para examinar.
I don't want to die here. I want to see the sky, feel the fresh air.
Eu não gostei não. Não gostei.
Are you injured?
Help me get out of it.
I'm Dr. Reed, and I'd be glad to...
Okay.
All right, Mr. Thatcher, you're safe.
Yes.
Good. Now leave this place. Are you sure?
Tem 3.000 de XP quase. Vamos ver, vou ter que seguir em frente, calma. Se farei.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Cheirinhos é o nome da moeda do jogo. Vamos comer o Mickey aqui, ó.
What sort of creature is this?
Ai, ai, ai. mas peraí então. Sangue dos cidadãos. Não, rapaz. Passo sufoco, mas não vou pegar esse cidadão não.
What sort of creature is this?
Calma aí. Isso vai ser chato, cara.
What sort of creature is this?
Por que já começou atirando? Tá, pera. Eu acho que eu devo treinar melhor. Essa porra aqui tá bom. Meu jogo bugou, rapazes. Porra, que buceta. Ai, o jogo bugou de jeito, hein? Ai, que tristeza, rapaz. Calma aí, deixa eu resolver esse bagulho. Não quero perder. Biblioteca. Mas eu vou tentar encerrar a live aqui, rapaziada. Pera aí. Mas é isso aí, família. Tamo junto aí. Vou dar um jeito aqui de pelo menos tentar fechar a live pra salvar. Tamo junto. Tamo junto. Falou.